Quad day today. Dun, dun, dun. Warmed up, got under the bar, worked through the weights, and the heavier the weight got, the less connection I had with the quads. And when that happens, I don't feel stacked. I feel like I'm using the posterior chain, and then by the time I got to 180, I pretty much felt like I wasn't using quads at all. It was hard to access that muscle, that tissue, for whatever reason. What that tells me is that I'm not primed to squat. I'm not engaged, activated. Sure, I can go through the squat motion, but I'm not using the stuff that I want to be using. Especially at the bottom of the squat. So when I feel like this, I'm rested, I should be attacking with full power, but I'm just off. So when I feel this, I go into an analysis overdrive, and I'm like, why is this happening? So I've warmed up exactly how I've been warming up recently, and I'm still not in my quads. So I did lunges, split squats, and I had a bit of a pump in the quads, but then as soon as I put the bar on my head, boom, losing the quads. For every minute that went by after those lunges and split squats, I felt like I was losing a bit more of my connection with my quads. So 10 minutes into the barbell portion of the exercise, of the training session, I'm like, yeah, my quads are pumped, but I'm not using them at all. And 180 felt crappy, slow, like a pool, felt like that. So scrap that, strip all the weight off the bar, and I'm like, let me do some bottom half squats. Ended up being like bouncing ATG squat things, where I was like, let me just spend some time in the hole, and just after that hole, when I'm popping out, I want to feel what's going on. I want to feel what are the muscles responsible for that particular portion. What is propelling me out of that bounce in the squat and up just a few inches above? And I ended up doing like 5 sets of 100 kilos, 5 sets of 20, just bouncing at the bottom. And what I felt was lower back, a little core, and frankly, not a lot of quads at all. It was just a lot of core. So I'm like, But then I would do 20 of those little bouncy things, and then I would come up out of there, and I would feel really, really in the quads. Like really, really in the quads. And I'm like, why am I not feeling that normally? So that little bouncy stuff in the bottom was kind of like engaging my quads and making me really in my quads. Obviously, the range of motion is really, really bad, and so there's not going to be any, soreness or anything in the quads. But I felt like I was in the quads, if that makes any sense. So strip all of that back, and I go over to the belt squat, and I'm like, let me elevate my freaking heels to the moon and back. So I put the fat freaking 25 kilo plate, and I start doing heel elevated belt squats. That is as freaking quads as you can make it. And that felt like, obviously, I'm in my quads the entire time. And that felt good. And so I did more of that, and more of that, and more of that. I did like 30, 40 minutes of this stuff. And now I feel like I'm really, really engaged with my quads. Really feels good. And that kind of got me thinking. I don't know what it is about it. But ever since I started doing the belt squats are good. But my gut feeling here is that I reckon the hack squats are better. I don't know why. Even though the belt is around your hips, even though the belt is around the hips, there is no posterior chain movement at all. The way my legs are positioned and the way my torso is positioned, I'm still leaning over. And so in a way, my quads are acting in a way they would act like I had the bar on my back. Except the bar is not on my back, the weight's on my hips. But I'm still in the same kind of bent over position. And you say to yourself, why don't you just lean back? Well, if I lean back, then I have to really grab the bar in front of me because I will tip back. And so by elevating the hell out of my feet, now I remove any lean, and I'm in my quads like I'm in my quads when I'm hack squatting, where there's no lean at all. My back is on the damn pants. I can't go anywhere else. So I think moving forward now, I'm going to have to strip the weight all the way back on the belt squat and really send my knees forward and mimic that hack squatty type of squat, where I'm really, really upright and I've refused to lean over. So this is something that I worked out today. The belt squat is great, but if you are squatting with the same angles and just holding onto the damn arm support that you have in the belt squat, you're not really doing anything that's different to a barbell squat. The angles are going to be the same. And so you need to manipulate some of those angles at the knees and the ankles and the hips to force the quads to work in the angles that you want them to work. I think this is important. So these kind of hack squats, man, this is so in the knees. So in the knees. And the pelvis is neutral throughout. There's no anterior pelvic tilt. It's just really, really in the knees. It feels so freaking amazing. It feels very hack squatty. Very hack squatty. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to jump back in and do a bit more with it. And just really, really trying to make it really feel like a Hindu squat. That's essentially what I'm doing here. Hindu squats. In fact, what I might do is I don't know what they're called. Those little heel elevation plastic cup things where you put under your heels. I might get those. I'm going to buy those. I should be on like $5 or $10. Not much, I hope. And instead of having that weird 25 kilo plate, I'll just have that. And hopefully that feels a little bit better, because with the 25, I feel like my knees are spilling out in the wrong direction or whatever. But anyway, this works as well. And the whole idea is to send these freaking knees forward. Send them as forward as I possibly can. That's it, guys. Appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.